Hey guys, welcome back. This is day 3 of me working with the Game Gear. Probably would take a lot less time if I wasn't recording, but you know, I wanted to share the experience with you. So today I'm going to try to get this thing finished up. I'm going to install the board into the case and then I'm going to test it and everything. So the first thing I want to actually do is I want to take the wires off of the new case and then get it ready for the CleanAmp and power board. What is it called? I forgot already. Yeah, the CleanJuice. I'm going to install that in here. So the first video I did of this thing is I recapped it. The second video I put the Game Gear GG, or I keep forgetting the name, GameSlot GG onto this thing, which ended up having some issues, but I think it might have been due to the solder points. We will find out after. But the third video was adding the clean screen. I did have some issues, which ended up becoming to be this problem again, which I think I figured out the issue of that. Also had some ribbon cable issues of having it a little too long. But other than that, everything went good. The last video I did is I stuck the RGB ribbon cable on here, which was the fastest thing to do and the most easiest. And now I just got to put the screen on this thing. I got to get the case prepped for it. I got to snip the top piece off. That way the screen can fit in there. And put the buttons in, the new transparent buttons and all that wonderful stuff. I would put some Kapton tape on here, but I am waiting for the slow boat from China to get here to give me my Kapton tape from AliExpress. So, oh, and also I had Amtech flux paste coming too, but guessing I had some here to get the job done, so not a big deal on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this video started. So this is exactly where I wanted to put some Kapton tape. I wanted to put some on this part of the ribbon cable down here and over on the top here, because it is kind of lifted up a bit. They could have put a solder pad right here, just a dummy one, where you can solder onto this point here to hold it down, but they didn't do that. This side is all right. So anyway, this board is finished. It seems like this piece is sitting fine without an issue after I crazy glued it. And everything else on this board seems to be pretty good. So let's move that out of the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove these wires, and the springs, they need to be removed as well. All these soldered wires, I don't want to break this, I just want to remove it. So let's move the heat shrink back a bit. Lift the pad up. Just into this one. Okay. And over here as well. Just lift you up. Come on. And do the same to the last one up here. There we go. The wires are off. Now, just need to push these out without wrecking them. And this one. It's jammed up in there. There we go. Oh, popped right out. I'm having solder issues on this one. I'm gonna have to take the solder off. It's a little too thick, so I gotta push it back down first. And then let's remove some of that solder. I'll turn my soldering iron on. All right. There you go. Okay. Now it should just slide through easily. Yep. Came right out. So it should come out too. There's only a tiny little bit of solder on it, so it should be okay. Yep. Just gotta kind of lift it. There we go. And remove this one as well. Alright. So we're pretty much prepped on this part. Now I need to get the other case. And we're going to cut this top off. So everybody uses snips like this. I'm going to do the same, but I'm also going to use a knife to try to get it as flat as possible. That landed in the shop somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty smooth. Although it's white. Yeah, it kind of looks dumb here. But you can't see that. There'll be that border across. So it's not a biggie. I think that's it for this part. I just had to prep that. Oh yeah, there's no nub there. Okay, they did take it out. Earlier versions of RetroSix video there's a nub that's at the bottom right here that sometimes you would have to shave it down so you can use it properly with this, but it's not in this one. So not a problem there. I'm eventually going to make another video. I'll put some custom stuff on here and come back to the capped on tape situation, but I think this is it. I think we're good here. Alright, so I need to stop the video here. The very first clip that I was playing through here, it was fine, and then the second one, I could tell that my microphone that was clipped to my chest wasn't working, and I was a little bit worried about this assembly video because the fact that one of my little USB magnetic things I kept the receiver on that communicated with the microphone broke. And I was a little worried about if these clips were actually playing through that microphone, and unfortunately a lot of them are just muted because of it. Some of these are playing through the phone mic, but the rest of them are just completely blank. So this is kind of an issue. I don't know what to do. I'm going to actually probably have to overlay my voice over a few of these clips. As an example, 3 should play. Yep, that plays. Let's try clip 7. Yep, there's no audio. Clip 8. I should be talking. There's nothing. So this kind of sucks. I'm going to actually have to use this feature here, which I've never used before. So I'm going to have to build the clips together, and then I'm just going to have to talk over it. So my apologies, guys. Okay, so the next part of the video, I have screws here. This thing comes with black screws. I wish there was another 4 black ones, but I don't have any in this bag that are that small. I just only have a bunch of these silver ones, so I'm going to be using them. And yeah, just install these speakers. So we'll do the speakers first. before I do any of that, there's one thing I need to do. How would that hold it? Is there only one holding it? Just one. There's no peg for this. Well, that's silly. So only one screw is going to hold one of the speakers down. Might end up having to use glue or something in there to keep it down. That's silly. There's two for this side, but not for this side. Maybe the board holds it? I don't know. Felt marker will work perfectly fine for now. Makes it black. Okay. What the heck? Doesn't sit very well. Let's turn the exposure down a bit. There we go. My bad. Got the other speaker. And the extender. Oh, you guys didn't use any heat on that? Look at the heat shrink. Look at that. Come on. I don't have fuel in here. Did I use it that much? Let's go grab some butane. Are you going to be a jerk yet? You always work. Why aren't you working now? In the way. You know, I think that day was just a bad day. Where are you? Oh, right here. I think that day was just a bad day because, you know, look at this. Audio issues to torch problems. I don't even know what else is wrong in there. Oh, man. Finally. After a million times. And now they're staying. Let's get these boards in here. Sits nicely. Good. Same with the CleanAmp Duo. Sits nicely. I just gotta figure out what screws are for what. These are the screws it comes with. Lots of these tiny ones yet. You know, I'm going to use the black ones. They're the same as the other sizes. Wait, before I do, I better double check to see if the hole size is right. No, it's not, because they ain't checked. Yeah, these ones are okay. Best always double check, right? Now I gotta work with the batteries, get them in place. Curious. Okay, we'll try it. That's tight. All right, so I'm doing the voiceover now for the first time on my software here, which I've never done before. But anyways, I am taking the screws out of the power board because I actually forgot to put the switch in, the little transparent one. So I'm fitting it in right now, as you can see. Just double checking to make sure that it works before I actually screw it back into place. Now I'm putting the first battery in with the short wire. As you can see, I rerouted the other wire. They go from the top and to the right instead of going from the left and all the way down. I thought that was literally the better route to do it, and sure enough it was. I did later on take this apart, and I did do a couple loops in the wire to make sure it was nice and tight and it wouldn't move around. All right, so I'm putting the covers on the batteries because you got to have covers on there. And then I go to flip it over. And then here's where I explain the wire goes underneath. And then it ends up going down and then straight to the right. And then does a loopy loop and then goes straight up. And then does another loopy loop out of nowhere and then goes straight in. And then I clean all the fingerprints off because, you got to make it look all nice and shiny. And then I was fitting the screen. Oh, by the way, the whiteness that's around the screen there, I used black marker later on. Not in the video, but that was later on. And just making sure that it doesn't break because it's kind of loose in there. And it still is. But I fit the ribbon in, close that up, make sure it's all nice and good to go. Then I take the black out because we got a transparent one that's got to go in there. All right, so I was putting this into the shell, and I did run into a few issues with some of the pegs on the shell itself, and just the way it was fitting. It wasn't fitting properly. But in the next clip there, you'll actually hear me talk about what the issue was, so I don't have to do this voiceover anymore. Yay! Anyway, I'm gonna move on to that clip now. I figured out why this board wouldn't go in at the top right here, and it's actually these little plastic posts for the D-pad. They weren't aligned properly. That was because of the 3D printed bracket for the screen. So I had to loosen up these 4 screws and then kind of shove it up, and it slipped into place properly. So it's good now. It doesn't really hold the screen very well, but it's there. Screen looks good. So I guess the next step I'm going to do is just move these cables around here to where they're kind of in the right area. Just connect you in. Number 1 is obviously the original should be number 1. Okay, it's connected. Oh, I'm jumping ahead a little too fast here. I forgot I gotta put this thing back on. So let's go ahead and lift up the ribbon cable. Wait, gotta come out slightly. Then this slides in. Make sure it's nice and locked down. I do not want to put any pressure on this because I don't want to cause any micro fractures in the soldering points. Alright, let's grab a proper bit. I don't want to make it too tight. Just got to kind of bend these new wires into place somewhat. These are RetroSix, and these ones are all silver here. We'll use black. Alright, I was able to get the screws in. I think there's 2 under here. I don't know. I just got these 4 in, and it's holding. Looks alright. There's a little bit of a gap at the top here. I don't know why. It just doesn't want to stay flat. But let's find out if this thing works. First of all, I got to get that screen on. I want to make sure that there's no dust. This is from AliExpress. This isn't from RetroSix, so a better fit. It's glass too, so let's go ahead and peel this. If it doesn't fit properly, I can always just get a proper one. I'm sure it will though. They can come with it. The whole thing, or just one piece. All right. All right. Slightly blow that off and stick you into place. Yeah, it's definitely glass. I can hear the ting sound from it. It's hard to tell where it's sitting because I can't see with the plastic on it. Just kind of moves the plastic out of the way a bit. Okay. I'm just going to take it off. It's just in my way. I may end up having to take this off again because I see all that plastic marks on there. No, I guess not. Looks good. It looks really good. Alright, let's find out. Please work. Hey, looks good too. Wow, that's loud. It's quite loud. It's full volume. Cool, speakers are working. Maybe these buttons are stiff. Just have to wear it out. Wow, that looks really good. Oh yeah, you can't. Oops. It works though. Oh, look at that. I'm happy with that. And we could charge from USB-C just fine. Yep. There's a charge light in there. Charge and play. Okay, so we know this game works. Try another. Baseball. Just double check, make sure it works. Produce and licensed. Sega. Cute pink light. The viewing angles are really good too. Jerk. One thing I just noticed this, I wasn't really paying attention until now, is I can see the pin headers down here and I can see the screen holder. So there's that, but gee, she looks good. That looks really good. All right, let's see what the CleanJuice actually outputs here. Gotta turn some lights off. Come on, turn off. There we are. Okay. There you go. That's what it draws. And it's going directly from there into the Game Gear. See how much it draws with console on. And turned off. Let me throw a game in. Show you in. Turn it on. There we are. See what it draws now. Okay, well, there you go. Boy, does that look good. That's bright. Right there. Wonderful. Oh, you jerk. I missed. Well, this thing's pretty cool. Needs some parts though. I'm not done with it yet, but the majority of it's done. It's a lot better than having it just sit there for years, not working like it used to be. What do I think about this so far? What do I like and what I don't like? The first thing I don't like about this is the membranes for the buttons. They are very, very stiff. You really got to push on them in order to show an input. Maybe they just need to be worn down a bit, or maybe I just got used to the older ones at the time. But that should be a little bit more softer, but that's just me complaining about it. For modding it and putting it all together, it was fairly simple. There's some things that I didn't like, and I mentioned it in the other videos, like that one ribbon cable on the right is a little bit long. Had issues with the 3D printed bracket for the screen. I had issues with the GameSlot GG. Holy crap, I remembered the name. Anyways, I had issues with that, but I think I fixed it. I don't have any issues. I just stick everything in and it works now, which is great. So I think it was just a solder joint that needed to be soldered, and it was just not soldered correctly. So my bad after all the complaining I ended up doing. But yeah, there's a couple more videos I want to make of this thing. I still want to get a case for it. I want to get the EverDrive. This is nice, this cart. I can play different games on it for now, but I do want to get an EverDrive. I want that save and load feature, so I don't want to have to put in passwords all the time, and some games are really difficult where you should have a save and load feature on it. So I guess some games on here, I think it was like Golden Axe or something like that, from what it showed it, where you can actually load. I don't know. I didn't even know that there was loading. I thought it was just usually passwords at the time. But I didn't really hear much stereo in between the speakers. The left speaker was more louder than the right. Maybe it's just the games I was playing. I don't know. But this turned out pretty awesome. I like it. Oh, yeah, the case, I want to get a stand for it. Oh, I want to get the stickers for the back as well. The EverDrive. Maybe a proper charger for it. Oh, I do want to get the Game Genie. I hope it works. I do want to get it for this. I don't know if that adapter I used to use years ago will even work on this screen. I hope it will. If it does, that's awesome. I gotta open this thing up again. I see fingerprints on it. It's driving me nuts. So I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna leave. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I will come back to this Game Gear when I get more stuff to it. Until then, adios.